I suppose we should talk about Black Ops briefly, because we covered quite a lot of the multiplayer trailer last week, but everybody is excited for it. Everybody is dying to play it, and we are 6 days away, I believe, from the multiplayer, the full disclosure from the multiplayer.
It comes out on the 1st of September, doesn't it? And I think it's the 24th today, isn't it? Or
it's 25th, so it should be next week.
That'd be a week today then.
A week today, we get full disclosure, or not disclosure, or full release of what's actually going to be in the multiplayer. I've never seen a game that had a full release date so anticipated for just a little bit of his game that no one's going to get to play for a few weeks. But they are releasing a beta, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, I think that's just for the Xbox, though, isn't it?
Oh, the fat box again. Sorry, Xbox people. I love your machine just as much as my own. But yeah, it's. Do you agree with hype on games, or do you think it gets a bit too much at times?
I think it's a little too much at times. Sometimes you'll see something, and once you actually play the game through, you'll notice that was completely fake. None of that ever happened, and they were just hyping it up a little bit too much.
I think that basically, one of the best parts about games coming out to me is the hype, because I find that really interesting, both to participate in and just to watch, just because, for Modern Warfare 2, I was so psyched about it coming out, and honestly, it hasn't let me down like it has just so many other people. But I think hype is great for the game, its sales, so that they can put more money towards producing more games and making them better. I think it makes more people more interested in gaming. Just all around, I think it's good, but not so much that it overhypes a game so that people buy it and or just want to get a refund immediately, like a lot of people did with Call of Duty 3.
So it's an interesting thing, because companies as a whole put in millions into their marketing campaigns, and with Call of Duty 3 it just failed. I mean, a lot of people bought the game, but it failed in terms of once people did buy the game, as you say, they returned it because it just wasn't what they're expecting. And surely a game would get more out of sales if what they marketed was exactly what people got. For instance, Heavy Rain, compared to other games like Black Ops, Modern Warfare 2, and the amount of rumours and stuff that have gone into games like Gran Turismo 5, Heavy Rain got quite a restricted marketing campaign, because even though it was introducing QuickTime events in a way that the gaming world had never seen before, but sales were through the roof, because people got exactly what they were expecting, a story-driven narrative with QuickTime events. Whereas people with Call of Duty 3 didn't get what they were expecting. It was a solid shooter, no doubt about it. It was a Call of Duty game, but it wasn't the groundbreaking piece of gaming software that everyone had expected. And I think that's where a lot of gaming companies fall down, because you got to you can market a product so much. You got to deliver. You've got to deliver.
I was just going to say, Heavy Rain, I mean, I hardly saw anything about it, through TV or any, trailers or anything. I hardly saw anything about it. From what I've heard, it's actually a really good game to play, and that it's exactly what it says on the tin, basically, as you could say.
Oh, it's an immense game. It's one of my favourite games.
If we're going to continue with our, new releases that are coming out, one that I'm looking forward to would be FIFA 11. I am a massive football fan, or if you're an American, you'd call it soccer. I cannot wait for it to come out, and I'm so looking forward to trying out being a goalkeeper. I think it's gonna be crazy, and it could be boring, but there's a lot of action. It's going to be quite fun to do.
I think it's going to be horrendously boring being a goalkeeper. You're going to wait around for ages while someone tries to shoot at you, and then you're going to press one button to try and make a save. it's not. I don't think that's going to be fun at all. But FIFA 11, I am excited about. It's another game I have pre-ordered. Dear me, I am building up quite a collection.
I don't know. You're getting all the money, mate, in this sort of line.
All the money I get, I spend on games. I'm that stupid. I'm stupid, but there you have it. Is in America, are soccer games or football games that were here, are they big? Do they sell well? Do you ever see them in shops?
Yeah, all the time. They're not quite as popular as, say, the Madden games are. Like, I'm sure you've heard of, like, the Madden games are the most popular football games probably on the market. They don't sell quite as well as them, but they are still solid games that have solid sales. I mean, pretty much anything that's produced by EA in America is going to sell well no matter what you do.
Oh, pretty sweet. I bought, when I had my PS2, well, I still have my PS2, I bought Madden 2002, I think. So that's 8 years. God, I feel old. That was a pretty decent game for an American football game, but I didn't know what was going on. There was all these little diagrams, so I just pressed buttons and things would happen on screen. I'd be like, yes! And I don't think I ever won a game of American football, because I didn't have a clue. Even with John Madden's sexual tones telling me what to do, I just couldn't do it.
I'm not really a big fan of the modern football games. My favorite football game ever to be on a console was NFL Blitz for the Nintendo 64. Which, ironically, that's also the console that hosts my favorite racing game, Mario Kart 64, so I guess I'm just a fanboy.
Oh, Mario Kart 64, what a game.
The original multiplayer.
Oh, that was just immense in every single... I miss my N64. I might plug it in soon.
I was a bit retro. I was a Sega man. I wasn't a Nintendo 64 man. Yeah.
Oh, my gaming history goes back. My first console was an Atari. That tells you how old I am.
That is old.
Did you ever have a game console made of wood?
No, not quite. I'm not that old. But I did have an Atari, which my first game ever was Pac-Man on it, and I was addicted to that. I played it for hours, and there was a game called Roadrunner, the actual cartoon with Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote. It was literally the hardest game anyone could ever try and play. I'd get past like 2 levels and that would be it. I would lose all my lives. There were no save points because enough memory didn't exist. And I was so frustrated as a child playing games that just couldn't be beaten. It was sad times.
Maybe you were just playing as the wrong character.
The
Wile E. Coyote never wins. Don't go towards the things that say Acme. They never turn out well.
No, you had to play as the Roadrunner, and you had to run along the road and avoid all these traps set by Wile E. Coyote while he was trying to catch up to you, and he always caught me because I was rubbish at the game. Oh, it brings back sad memories. I wish I was good at games.
The original Rage Quit.
That's me. I am the original Rage Quitter.
I really enjoy talking about the nostalgic consoles. I was going to go into the original black and white Game Boy and how, like, the original Super Mario World.
What the frick?
I missed out on the Game Boy. My
brother got it, so...
I got the Game Boy Color, and then I got the Game Boy Advance. And
I had a Game Boy Pocket.
Game Boy Pocket.
That's like the smallest handheld thing you'll ever play.
Game Boys were pretty fun. We used to have 4-way. You get little cables, I don't know what the USBs, I suppose, where they were back then, the connecting cables and 4-way Bomberman battles at school. Oh, those were the days. Those were the days. It's all online now. I don't get to see anyone I play with.
That is horrible. You don't get to see anyone you play with anymore. Just horrible.
I see some people that I play with. It's just that not many of my friends have PS3s. Most of them are Xbox players, and I wanted a PS3 just because I wanted to play Metal Gear Solid, and they didn't care about that.
That's why most people actually came over to PS3, well, most of my mates anyway, because they want to play Metal Gear Solid 4.
Damn straight. That's a clever decision. I don't see why you would get an Xbox, because you can't play Metal Gear Solid. They have Alan Wake. I haven't heard anything about that game. That was hyped, and I haven't heard anything about that game since it's been released.
I have never played the Metal Gear Solid game.
Oh, Seth, you need to educate yourself. You need to learn the ways of Snake. And if you don't, you're gonna go to hell. Sorry.
I'm gonna really regret saying this, and I'm probably gonna have Poison rebuke me for weeks on end, but I got Metal Gear Solid 4 like the week after I got my PS3, and I wasn't too terribly impressed with it. I just wasn't that interested in the gameplay.
You wasn't too terribly impressed with Metal Gear Solid Timeline. I think I might have to delete you off my friends list. I don't think we can ever be friends ever again. I'm sorry. You didn't.
Well,
like
if we're gonna be going down that road, you might as well delete me as well.
What? Oh, I'm gonna have nobody on my friends list. How can you not like Metal Gear Solid?
Hey, you'll still have Poison Fang.
Oh, good. I look forward to that. It is the greatest game ever made. It is amazing. I love Metal Gear Solid.
Ocarina of Time begs to differ.
Oh well, looks like I picked 3 of the worst guests this week. That's
Clearly.
1 hasn't played it, 2 don't like it. Oh my god. I think that. Excuse me. I'll start again. That was a massive fail. That was a massive fail. I think that about wraps up for this week. I want to thank everyone for joining me. Matthew, Seth, and Timeline, thank you very much. You've been most helpful. Next week, agreed now, thankfully, we will have Sly Fox Sound, the mental master of everything to do with Call of Duty and life, apparently, in his own opinion, I'm sure. I've been Canteen PS3, and I'm sure everyone here, Matthew, will say bye.
Bye.
Seth will say bye.
Goodbye, everyone.
And Timeline will say bye again when I tell him to, not beforehand.
I'm so sorry. Bye, guys.
Thank you. I'll put the Seth and Timeline both have YouTube channels, do you not?
I do.
I do as well.
We will put their and Matthew as well. So we'll stick their links in the description. Go check them out. They're all really cool guys. They post some pretty cool stuff. And yeah, thank you for listening, and we will see you later.